Hi, my name is Sylvia Martiniani, and I am the principal and visionary behind Agora Prep Academy. This is the only school of its kind in the world, and I am humbled to be here in this moment talking about my dream. Agora Prep Academy was established to provide alternative education to children of all abilities and superpowers, not disabilities. It was created for our future generations of neurotypical and neurodiverse children. And I really believe in this because we wanted to build something that will help them shine and excel beyond our wildest dreams. There is an untapped potential to inspire these future leaders, and it is currently not being explored in traditional environments. Hence, Agora Prep was born. I am honored to be here and sharing this time with you. Over the next 60 minutes, we will be talking with 3 of our parents at Agora Prep Academy and asking them questions, and they will respond with their heart. I'd like to preface this with 2 caveats. 1, we just opened this June 28th, so these wonderful panelists have only experienced our summer camp programs so far and not the true education that Agora Prep Academy provides during the academic year. Secondly, we did not rehearse nor share our responses, so everything here that you will hear and see here is going to be authentic. My wonderful panelists are all parents, and it is my pleasure to introduce them to you. So first is Caroline. Caroline, raise your hand. There you go. Hi, Caroline. So Caroline is a mother of 2 intelligent, beautiful children enrolled in Agora Prep Academy, and she heard all about this dream of mine far before it became to fruition. We are close friends, and her children, as well as mine, further inspired my desire to create this alternative to traditional schools. Anita, hi Anita. Anita is also a wonderful mom who sends her amazingly and smart daughter to our summer camp. She is a well of information and is extremely educated. Last but not least, certainly, is Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. There you go. She's sending her son to summer camp as well as signed up for September 2021. Her son is a genius. His potential will far exceed anyone I've ever known. He is meticulous, observant, intentional, and extraordinarily intelligent. So welcome, ladies. I'm thrilled to have you all here. All right, so you can unmute yourself now, release, be free. So I'm gonna ask a question, and then I will give each of you in turn a chance to respond, and I will ask each of you by name. So the first question we have on this very exciting Zoom meeting is 1, why did you choose the school originally? So what was the intention behind choosing the school? So Carol, I'd love your answer to that.
My intention to choosing the school was after a year of virtual learning because of the lockdowns with the COVID. I wanted the kids to be able to go to a summer camp where I knew they would be learning in an environment where they were face-to-face, and that it was going to be learning in a way that wouldn't make it feel like learning, because they tend to resist that, as most kids do. And I felt that they would definitely benefit from having an environment that was summer camp, that was fun, but at the same time, they were going to be getting kind of help with filling in the education that they kind of missed out on during virtual learning.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Anita.
Hi there. Actually, I was looking into get my daughter into fun-filled activities for summer holidays after going through a long lockdown. The curriculum that I was presented during this first tour, interests me, and my daughter was very excited to join. And she had been in the school like almost now 6 weeks now, and she was bubbling with excitement every single day to go to school, which showed that she was really liking the school. Like I was never like it. First thing which I loved, the logo, inspiring future leaders. That catch me, that grabbed my attention. Actually, I really wanted to, because everybody wants to look into, like, engineers, doctors, like leaders is something which made me really grab my attention, which made me to send my school to your this thing.
Super. Thank you so much. And Liz.
Well, Evan has started his education in Montessori, and that he flourished. But then for grade 1 and 2, we sent him to public school, and it didn't work out. They're not caring. They're not making an effort to include the neurodiverse children, which my son Evan is. So I looked for a school that's different, one that is not just all about academics, but caring about how the child would develop and how the child would learn. And that's how I found Agora Prep. I was so excited. I was going to send him somewhere else. And then I found this place. I'm like, okay, we're going there. So far, so good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies, for your answers. I really do appreciate it. And it warms my heart. You don't know how much it warms my heart. Number 2, so in which ways is the school what you expected, and in which ways is it not? Keeping in mind that this is summer camp so far, I just wanted sort of your feedback on that. So we'll start with Liz this time.
Oh, I expected the building to be bigger. I expected in a traditional building. I was a bit hesitant when it's in the end of a strip mall, but then I looked around and the environment inside is beautiful. The principal owner, Miss Sylvia, passionate, and that's more important than any physical building. Yeah, so
thank you.
Yeah, so it fits our expectation now, and it's
Thank you, Liz. Thank you. Amazing. Anita.
Actually, I'm happy with whatever it's going through. I don't have anything, like, I really enjoyed, because as a tour, even I came with my husband, and you took me to the tour, like each and every place, like it looks unique for me, like everything is like a hands-on experience. Like usually when you go to any workplace or anywhere, do you know this job? Instead of saying yes, it's like, do you like hands-on? Yes, I know it. Like, I really enjoyed it. So I'm happy with it.
Good, thank you. Carol?
So expected was, I had seen the place from when it was still being renovated. So I knew the potential. I knew that the space was beautiful, and I knew that the way it was designed with kind of like the unseating seating, that would appeal to the kids. And it does, absolutely. The different types of, the different types of blocks, the different types of interactive toys, I knew that they would gravitate to that, and they did. The unexpected for me is that the fact that it is led by the children's interests, and I get that in summer camp it's not as involved, of course, but it challenged my also neurodiverse son in that he thrives on predictability. And he needs structure, and kind of trying to get that from him. Whereas initially I thought he would thrive on that. It actually didn't help. He needs to know in advance what's going to happen. And if you ask him, then he gets stuck. And that was unexpected for me, to be perfectly honest with you. But Miss Sylvia has definitely helped with that, because I brought my concerns to her, and she addressed them in a way that, it was still true to the school's beliefs and system, while at the same time being able to help my child thrive in that situation.
Thank you, Carol. Yes, I mean, I'm a really big believer, because I'm a mom of 3 children that attend the school with your children. I'm a big believer that school administrators need to pivot. They need to consistently change. This is an alternative learning environment. We're learning from these children as much as they're learning from us. And I don't think it would ever be successful or true to its vision, much like Carol is saying, if we don't adapt and if we don't understand or hear what the children are telling us in terms of what they need, and then satisfying that within the framework. So, you know, for all the future students that we will have, which I like to call my future clients, because they are my clients, you know, it is all about adaptability. It's all about flexibility and pivoting, because that's the way of the future. It's not so much about being rigid or militant or saying, no, this is my way. And if a child doesn't fit within that framework, then they can go somewhere else. We're not about that. We're about accepting everyone and welcoming everyone with whatever needs they have and finding ways to accommodate them. So thank you for sharing that, Carol. Okay, number 3, what does your child or children, in Carol's case, say about the school? So we'll start with Anita this time.
Everyone in the school, they are very helpful, and she learned everything differently. Like every day she learned different. Like I'm very excited, like, you know, and every week they have some theme to follow, and which she enjoyed it. And like before I had one complaint, but she had that she never used to able to speak. Like, you know, she was not able to completing the sentence, and she was having a tough time. Like when I said to Mr. Daniel and the teachers there, like she's really making up a sentence, and which really helping me. And friendly environment, I really loved it. Fun-filled environment, which I'm happy with. And she's really loves it. And she gets before getting into car, she always asks me, "Are we going tomorrow to camp?" Right? That is her condition before getting into the car. Like when I come to pick her up. So yes, always there.
That's amazing. And just so you know, she doesn't just say a sentence. When I go in to visit, and I visit all day, every day, whenever I need a break from business and office, I'm always there with the kids, because this is what I love. I love being around them. She'll come up to me and she'll tell me entire stories. So there's like not one sentence, it's like a novel. It's amazing, to the point that I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I have to go now, but please finish your sentences and all your stories after, okay? And she's like, okay.
Now I think now I have to tell her to stop now, then, because it's like ongoing. Yeah.
Totally different problem now.
Yeah, now totally there, which is awesome. I really like it. That's what I was looking for, like open up yourself. Like that's what I was really looking for. Like, you know, I'm happy now. At least she's able to build up a sentence. Her vocabulary is improving, which like I'm impressed. Like, you know, it's made a huge difference in this 6 weeks though.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Liz, what does Evan say about the school?
Evan loved the school because it's small. He likes small schools where he knows everybody and he can navigate his round in a physical space and know that he's safe. And he feels that he's being heard here. Like the coaches listen to him and they coach him through any issues that he faces, and he feels safe here. And that's very important to him and very important to me.
And he's helped design some of our themes, I have to tell you. He's given his feedback, and he said, I think that we need to focus on this theme a week. And so the coaches, we call, by the way, for everyone who's watching, our teachers are not teachers, they're coaches of learning. So the coaches would come to me and say, so we have some students making requests for the theme. So for the next few weeks, can we fit this theme in? And I'd be like, yes, absolutely. And same with, you know, your children as well, ladies. We listen to them. And even though we have pre-designed themes, sometimes we just shift them around or say, okay, if this is what they're interested in, this is what we need to go with. So he's been a great contributor to that. And he is starting a nonprofit arm to my school, and he wants to lead it because Evan is very much socially conscious. He really wants to help people in need. So this is one of those things that we can do that I don't find is available at other, you know, learning environments. So thank you. And Carol, what do your lovely children say about the school?
I have to admit, it's the first summer for Annabelle to go to any camp, and she loves it. And she thrives on being around people, and again, after the horrifying lockdown that we've been through, she's definitely enjoying going every day. My son, on the other hand, it's 50-50. I have to confess, he loves it most days, but then the days when he feels that there's more demands on him than he would be able to get away with at home, he kind of tends to shut down a little bit. But overall, like, I've heard them, they've come home, they've been singing songs about space. They've been, my daughter, she's only going to grade 1. She hasn't any French, and now she knows her numbers from 1 to 10, all in French. And they seem to be engaged. They're doing crafts, and they're always excited about something that they're going to do. With the exception of my son, once in a while, he'll be like, it's too hot, I don't want to go out today. So it's not really camp related. It's weather related. Yeah.
My kids do the same thing. And this, like, they helped me build the school. They were with me the whole time. But there's some days where they're like, I just want to watch TV and play games all day. And I'm like, you can't. You have to go to the camp.
Yes, exactly.
Daddy's working from home. You can't just stay home and bug him all day, right?
That's pretty much the answer I give them. It's like, I kind of have work, so you have to go.
You gotta go. You gotta go. Exactly. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. So this one's a tough question. And when I read it, I was just like, wow, I can't wait to hear what you guys had to answer. So it says, if the school were to be represented as a single person, what would its personality be like in only 3 words? 3 words. I know. Yeah, it's kind of tough because I have no idea what I would answer as a parent at Agora Prep Academy, which I am. I don't know what you were going to say. So this is going to be exciting. So let's start with Liz. Liz, 3 words.
3 words. Doesn't have to be a sentence, right?
No.
Okay.
3 words.
Adaptable, inclusive, and brave.
Thank you. Thank you. Carol.
I'm still thinking.
All right. Told you this was going to be authentic.
Yes.
All right, fine. We'll get back to you if you want.
Okay. Thank you.
Anita.
Okay. Friendly, cooperative, respectful.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you.
Thank you.
They gave you some ideas, Carol. So I know you could do this. I believe in you.
I'm going to repeat some of the things that they said. I'm gonna say, I was gonna say engaging, fun, and respectful.
Okay.
Perfect. That sounds good to me. I'm very touched by those words. Thank you so much. All right. So the next question is, how would you describe the values of the school and the values of the family in the school community? So just be very careful because you're it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Only positive things. No, I'm just kidding. Liz, what do you think?
I find that the families who go to Agora Preps are people who want different things for their children. Not the traditional school that, like you say, is militant, but looking for something different that will suit their children's needs, diverse or non-diverse, and is willing to try new things. Yeah.
Cool. You're right. I do feel that same way. Carol.
I am going to agree with Liz. I feel that all the parents who have chosen to bring their kids to Agora Prep are of the same mindset. It's that the traditional school system hasn't worked for their children, or they've seen them not thrive. And we got firsthand experience watching our children in that environment, and very quickly realized that it really doesn't work, actually, for the majority of children. And I feel that because we're all looking for the same thing, like we're a like-minded group of parents, looking for the best for our kids, looking for, an alternative way to reach out to them, to engage them, and looking for more flexibility for them as well, because that rigidity in the school system is really to the detriment of most children, because I think that it does work for a percentage, but I think the percentage of the kids that it does work for is very low. And so the majority of the kids are left not being catered to properly. And that's why I feel that the parents we're aligned. We're all similar. We're looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
100%. And Anita, just before I asked you to kind of give your 2 cents, I wanted to tell you, and I wanted to share this. I was speaking with another gentleman, and they're working on like an online sort of virtual school for children all around the world. And him and I were going back and forth about the pedagogies and the ideologies behind education systems from all around the world. And what we both agreed on 100%, why he wanted to start this and why I wanted to start the school, is that there are 2 polar opposites in a classroom. Okay, there's the average child, which is maybe 1% of the population, but the rest are either extremely quick learners, they want to move forward, they want to move at a faster pace than the curriculum, and then there are the ones that are, just wanting to slow things down and are perfectionists. They wanted to address certain things like several times before they can actually retain it. Unfortunately, because of the way the days are structured and the way traditional schooling is, we only address that 1%. Everybody else, that 99%, are polarities, and we never address those polarities. So true to what Carol is saying, those polarities are exactly what makes up majority of our student population, and yet the schools are not being able to address it. So thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you. Anita, how would you describe the values of the families that come to the school?
I would say, simple and short, I would say live and learn. That's what I would say. Because in our school time, we are all being punished. Even if it is above 70, it's still considered as like it's a competition world. Like, you just got 70. Oh, that person got like 90 and above. Like all those. We don't want that to happen in the child. Every child, as you said, is different. Everybody has to be taken care in the same way. It's to be taught the same way. And I love the way of teaching, coaching in Agora Prep. And I love all the teachers, the way they are really, I'm happy with it. I really don't have much to say about it. I would say, enjoy the learning system. That's what I would end it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. From my point of view as a principal, and because I know all the parents that come in, and we're all parents, I love the vibe. I love your vibe. I really adore coming to the door at the end of the day and, handing your children back to you. And some of you are like, okay, can we just keep them here for the week? It's really cute. But every father and every mother that comes to pick up their children here, we have this, conversation. It's very easy. It's very, it's very happy, and it's very kind. And I just love that. I love how open that you guys are, and how welcoming you guys are of us. And the fact that you are searching for something different is amazing. But I totally, believe you, and I totally hear you, because I was looking for something different as a mom of 3. So, this is why we were born. But I feel like all of our values are aligned, because we're focused on the child. We're not focused on the system. We're not focused about what people are going to say. We're not focused about, someone else determining the potential of our children. We are all focused on our child, and that is so important. And that's definitely a value that I like to drive at Agora Prep. All right, this one's easy. What are your favorite parts of Agora Prep Academy so far? It's completely a biased question, and yes, I made it up. All right, Anita, we'll start with you.
Let me think. I need some time.
All right, fine.
Yes,
Carol, you look like you're ready to answer.
My favorite parts? The space, the no desk and no chair thing. I love that. I mean, there are seats, but they're not like the traditional desks and the traditional seats. So that I do like that. The sensory room, because my child definitely benefits from that a lot. And yeah, like the vibe that you get from the coaches, that they are, you know, interested in your child and what they're doing and all that. Yeah, I think those would be
Your
three
favorite.
things. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Okay. And Liz?
I think the thing I love most actually about the school is that, because right now it's a small environment, I can see that the coaches genuinely care, and they care about developing the child, making the child blossom. And that is so important to me, so close to my heart, that my child it's not just a number in a sea of children that they have to deal with, but an individual who has his own thoughts, who has his independence, his strong wills, and I love the word you used to describe them, his superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
Because biased as a parent, I know my child can be a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
I also know he has this ability to be so powerful in future if he is given a chance to blossom, to grow, and to really develop as a person. And that's what I love about the school, giving him the opportunity to do that and not just be labeled as difficult, as neurodiverse, but
Yes.
so much more. That he has the opportunity to just be himself. Yeah. It's just so
That
much.
is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And if you ever hear me giving tours and talking to other parents coming in, that's exactly what I say. Your child is worth, they're treasures. They're given to us on loan, and we have to do the best we can with them. But they are capable of unimaginable things in the future. And we have to harvest, cultivate, mine, and refine that ability. We have to give them guidance, and we have to show them, their learning pathways. We have to, refine it and ensure that they're getting the math they need and the science and the language they need. Yes, those are tools for their tool belt. But the first most important element of education is basic respect, is listening to their voice, not telling them to sit still or raise their hand when they want to speak or raise their hand when they want to go to the washroom. It's actually getting to know the child and saying, hey, what are you good at? Do you want to explore that together? And if that's your talent, man, you can shine brightly. You can be the next Elon Musk. You can be the next Bill Gates. You are capable. And you don't even have to wait till you're 30. The beauty of this is that we can discover it as early as it needs to be. Maybe one of your children is going to come up with an amazing discovery that's going to be on the new, they're going to be the new face of Kids Time magazine. So there's nothing these children can't do. We just need to stop teaching at them and just listen to them.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Especially Evan and and Trey, I'm just saying, and Bella. All right, Anita, what's your favorite part of Agora Prep?
Agora Prep, I don't know, you have to help me out. I like the first room. I think it's called the sensory room, what Miss Carol said. Is that the one? Like it's the calm room where kids can really calm themselves if they're mood preparation and whatever they're going through. I love that room the best because everybody needs that time off, for some point of time. Like if nothing works, calmness and peaceful mind definitely works at some time. I would love
100%. I love that room too. It's actually where we have our staff meetings. And believe it or not, when my staff want to go on lunch and they need some quiet time, so the children during lunchtime are watching a movie or they're engaging with one another and having lunch, the staff that go on lunch will take their lunch in the sensory room. Because they'll turn on the lava lamp and they'll turn on the globe and they'll turn on some of the lights. Some of them will sit on the yoga mat. Some will sit on the cushy chairs, those big blow up chairs, but they absolutely love that room. And I've added essential oils in there too, because I want to make sure that we invoke every sense. So sight and hearing and touch and actually scent as well. So yeah, I agree with you. I love that room too.
And it's actually where, too?
Parents are allowed if you would like to come. Yes, after hours, I will have some
After hours.
sensory room time slots that you guys can sign up for and be like, hey, can you take care of my kids while I just do some sensory room for an hour?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so
While
much.
you're on your phone on Instagram or something.
Yeah, keep
You're
all our
welcome.
the access for all this digital, and we just want a calm room for sure. If you
Exactly.
allow
We
us.
call it a self-care room. Self-care. It's important.
Yes,
Good
that's
idea. We'll write that one down for sure. All right. How do you feel about the vision of our school as it aligns with the 21st century learner? So to preface this question, I just want to say that we understand and we know, because we're all in the same boat, that our children were born into technology. It wasn't something that was introduced to them as after the fact. It is a fact of life. They are right now consumers to an exorbitant amount of data. There's a lot of data online. They're learning a lot faster, and they're doing a lot at the same time. So like, for example, my 10-year-old daughter, she's able to listen to music in her ears, play on her tablet while she's watching a movie. And when I flip the movie off because nobody's watching the movie, she looks at me and she goes, hey, I was watching that. And I know, and she can retell me the entire movie script. Like, she can tell me the plot and everything. And I'm like, how are you watching this movie while you're playing on your tablet? And she looks at me and she's like, because I can. And I'm listening to music, by the way. I'm listening to my favorite song. And I'm like, how? And she's like, because I need this. They are multisensory. So in saying that, that's a 21st century learner. We all know this. We've experienced it with our children. How do you feel that this school aligns with that kind of child or that kind of vision? We'll start with Carol this time.
Well, because of the fact that technology is allowed in the classroom, as opposed to in traditional learning where it isn't really used a lot, or it is used sparingly, it definitely helps them to learn better how to use it. And with more, yes, my cat wants to be part of the video, guys, as I'm sure you've noticed already.
Hi, Penny.
Yes, seriously.
That's fine. She loves me.
She loves being on camera.
Yeah.
Anyways, as I was saying, yes, so because technology is allowed and its use is encouraged in their learning, I feel that it is going to help them more in the 21st century, of course, because as a user, you have to learn how to use it. And at school, they teach it in an abstract way. It's like, let's talk about online safety, but you're not online. The children aren't online. You're talking to them about online safety as opposed to showing them or giving them examples and having them experience it themselves to learn. Yes, my cat is headbutting me. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't help it. Like,
Best
seriously,
interview ever.
go away. And
Yeah.
now I've got messy cat hair. Anywho, so yes, it definitely aligns in that sense. Sorry, because of the fact that it's integrated in their learning. I'm gonna stop talking now. Maybe my cat will go away. It's
experiential, is what you're saying, and we do encourage the children to bring their tablets. We don't have textbooks as of September. Everything's tablet work. We have Bluetooth enabled as well as Wi-Fi enabled and smart TVs for them to project whatever work they're doing on their tablet onto the TV and present it to their peers and cohorts. We still have writing stations and we still have math stations where they're going to have to visit once a day in order to accomplish, your Ministry of Education objectives. And they're going to learn cursive. I would like them to start reading stories. We partnered with a company where they're going to do online reading and the reading assessments, fluency, and their voice will be sent to the parents regularly to show them what levels they're reading at and what books they've read. Actually, once they read the book a few times, they can choose to narrate it, and with their voice going into a repository. So let's say Evan records his favorite polar bear book, for example. A child in India or a child in Africa can click on Evan's voice as the narrator of that story. We are partnering with so many different amazing, emerging, and breakthrough companies that have discovered new ways of engaging children in reading and in writing and in math. The fact that, you know, we are launching Simbi in September, and I'm very excited about it because it's in 87 countries. Children can read stories in all different languages. They don't have to read it in English. They can read the story in Spanish. It can be in Hindi. It can be in Arabic. It can be in Russian. And it's wonderful because that's going to be aligned with our ability to be global as a school, but also to encourage them to learn different languages. And here we go back. We don't stand in front of a classroom teaching them Spanish. We just immerse them in it. And they will linguistic duality is natural, okay? You're able to acquire it at a young age. It's only when we get older that everything kind of becomes concrete and our language and our accents develop. But children are capable of picking up as many as 5 to 6 languages easily if they're immersed in it and they're interested in it. So thank you, Carol, for sharing that. And yes, we do, we only use technology and we teach them how to use the technology. So they're not on playing games all day. They're actually on there for research methods, how to use, you know, how to write up a proper presentation and such. So thank you for that. Liz, how do you think our Agora Prep Academy aligns with the 21st century learner?
Oh, very much so. At first I was leaning towards a nature school that didn't use any technology at all. But after a tour with Agora and finding out that you were going to do TED Talks for the children, and I'm like, actually, that makes a lot more sense because there's no denying that the children today are immersed in technology in every way, without actually knowing that's technology, that is their life, is integrated in there. So teaching the kids how to use technology and teaching them to have confidence to sell a product, to sell themselves, to sell to their projects in a TED Talk, it's so smart. And we don't have to wait until they're in college to do that because that's too late. You know?
Exactly.
Let them be confident as a young child that they can sell whatever idea and be proud and be fluent in talking to people is so important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We don't all have to write a 25-page thesis, right? But being able to communicate with people online, face-to-face, in big groups and small groups is so important. Yeah.
Absolutely. And not to negate what you just said, but we are still focused on sustainable living and environments and ecosystems. One of our coaches is actually experienced. He's a subject matter expert in permaculture. And permaculture is being able to create a sustainable ecosystem outside of our school that can feed into each other. He's been teaching them about, you know, photosynthesis as a basic sort of tenet to our existence, but he's also talking to them about how a chicken coop can feed into, you know, having goats, and then the goats can eat the grass and the grass can, so it's all about the circle of life and how we're all connected. We're also, we also have a live wall and aquaponics and hydroponics in the classroom. Children will learn how to farm their own products, how to harvest their own food, and also cook and bake whatever it is they harvest. So making salads, making, you know, out of wheat, growing different spices and creating recipes. So we are still going to focus on that. But guess what? At the end of the day, when it's time for them to write their recipe or, you know, record how they baked it or how they cooked it or how they harvest it, it's going to be with the use of technology.
Yeah.
Because we want them to know that you can have the best idea in the world. If no one knows about it, it doesn't really exist, right? So it doesn't matter. So we're going to teach them how to make it matter, right? Can you tell me how Agora Prep aligns with the 21st century learner?
First of all, I would like to share my experience, what happened just in recent weeks. Every day, usually in the evenings, I'll make her to sit like 7 to 8, like either English, either maths, either some subjects. I'll just make her to read at least 20, 25 sums and some English like reading and writing. Of course, it's hard, but every day different homework, like I'll just make her to sit. One day I gave her the sums and I started doing my course, like I just as usual. And I started doing, thinking that, okay, she'll finish it off. And I put a timer on, okay, she'll finish it. Then after some time, I'm hearing noises. Like I said, what's going on? Did she turn on the TV or something? When I went to check on her, 3 plus 3, take away 5. She answered it 1, but okay, you know what? Let me confirm it. And she went to Siri. Can you help me? Is it right? 3 plus 3, take away 5 is, yes, you're right. That's 1. Then I go, there you go. She's taking the help from Siri though. And again, she came with the Spanish. She was learning 7 days of the week in the school, which was in Spanish. I didn't knew. Like she came home. I loved that song. She was singing and singing because I was not understanding what she was really singing, but she was enjoying it. It was like a party time, like a whole evening. She was singing that one, but she wanted that to practice. And she was not knowing what, like even I didn't know how to type and everything. And she did singing too. She recorded and she said, oh, this is what you're looking for? Is this the links? And it came out and she touched that link and she put it on. There she entered the music. There you go. And he not have to do it. So yes, I would definitely say it's aligning with the 21st
It's aligned.
century. Yes.
Yeah, Google's our best friend at home. My kids actually fact check what we tell them. So if daddy and I say to them, for example, you know, if you eat too many sweets before you have dinner, your stomach is going to hurt. So 5 minutes later, we would hear them saying, hey, Google, is it true? And I'm like, no, Google, no, Google. And Google's like, that is a fallacy. It is not true. Blah, blah. And I'm like, stop, just unplug the thing.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. Our kids know so much.
They know so much. Like even like if we are driving, let's say we are using the GPS and it says towards Toronto. Oh, are we going to Toronto now? So we are not in Toronto now. So yeah, they keep on, the ears will be like always open. Like I don't know, like
Radar.
yeah. Superpowers, as you say.
100%. 100%. Amazing. Okay. What are some issues with traditional schools that cause you to consider alternative learning environments as an option? So I just want to hear about your experience with traditional schools. I know mine, and you know, I'm sure we can all echo each other's sentiments, but I'd love to hear from you what your sort of take on traditionalism and how it's impacted your child, whether it's positive or negative, and why an alternative learning environment is necessary. So we'll start with Liz.
Well, yeah, I've mentioned before, Evan started in Montessori and he thrived because it gave him the ability to choose his activity. And when we went to public school, having to sit at the desk and be taught at, and sometimes there were smarter kids or faster kids in class, and then your child feels left behind. But I know he can do it if he's given enough time to work on it. So a traditional school works for the average kid who you know, who's not neurodiverse like my child is. But when he is in fact neurodiverse, they feel left behind. It doesn't help their confidence. It doesn't help them make friends. It just doesn't work for my child. So Agora Prep is hopefully going to address all those issues and and make him be confident and very importantly be happy. Yeah.
We absolutely will. And because we don't have any grading or we don't have any tests that we give everyone, we don't have any particular exams or report cards even. We do an assessment, but it's one-on-one. It's just between us and Evan. It's not in front of other children, and it's certainly not shared with anyone. The results are only shared with the coach and the parent. And the results are simple. It's criterion referenced, and in the assessment world, criterion referenced is comparing your child's results against a criteria. It's not norm referenced, and norm reference is comparing your child against other children that age, which we don't believe in, because we believe every child is capable of different things, multiple intelligences. So what we do is we say, okay, at reading, and comprehension, this is the level they're at, this is where they need to be in terms of the criteria. We will help them reach that criteria. That's it. So the child never feels, and because they're all doing something different, they're exploring their interests, but learning science and math through that, they can't compare each other. Because if Carol is working on something to do with astronomy, and you know, Liz is working on something to do with building a new machine or a factory, and Anita is deciding to look into something with chemistry or biology, you're all doing similar. You're trying out science in different ways, but none of you are doing the same thing. So there's no way you can compare each other.
Yeah.
And so that eliminates the ability for us to compare one another. So when we're working side by side, as colleagues, if you're doing something different than me, we're both subject matter experts in our own right.
Yeah.
So, and that's where that, you know, that's a very important difference. And thank you for highlighting that for us. Thank you. Anita, can you tell me about your experience with traditional schools?
Actually, I agree with Liz, what she said. Like, kids have to be given enough time to answer the question. Like, sometimes it happens like they have their own kids to choose. Only those kids will be answering the question. Though I'm confident that my child knows that answer should be, but she needs some time. She needs some support that, yes, you can answer it. Give some time. Maybe, like as I said, when it's the maths, like some people may do it like by fingers counting. Some people may use blocks. Some people may need like just in a jiffy, like a different and the way they answer it. But okay, if you go, okay, Shreya, if you're not able to do it, you think and get back to me later. No, I would say just give her enough time. Like, you know, it's 30 students. I know you don't have, but every child is, you know, important. You have to give her the time. Some people, as you said, quick learners, slow learners, it's not the way. You have to give the time. I agree with that. Like, you know, traditional school, as you said, like if you don't give them a chance, it's always, it's okay, mommy. Like, you know, anyway, she's not going to ask me. Like, it's okay. I'll just wait. If she asks me, I'll raise my hand. Like she raised her hand and never she was picked up sometimes. All day she was waiting. So that thing is, I've gone through that lot of tough time. And I was tired of explaining myself. Yes, she knows that she would be able to explain you if you don't given an opportunity to explain herself, which I missed it. Those times I really felt bad. I'm sorry. I just said the honest answer, which I felt it. I'm sorry about that. But yes, it's true. You have to give an opportunity no matter what. Like even I'm an immigrant. I know I came from a different, like it's not easy. Like when we come and we speak your language, it takes time. Like I fumble up too. I have tough time too. But if you give me some time and I prepare myself and I can give you the real answer, what everybody is looking for. If you ask me some document, yes, I'll do it. Like, you know, just give me some time. That's what
Exactly. And thank you for that. Again, another reason why we don't do the collective sitting in a big group. Some children, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way because I feel the same way. We react differently in a more intimate setting than in a large group setting. Some people in a large group setting will not speak up because they're just afraid of speaking up, or they're afraid of being judged, or they're not comfortable. So in saying that, what are we really testing? We're just going to be testing the children who are extroverted, and the introverted are being lost in the mix, and the ones that are thoughtful or reflective. And yet those are the ones with huge potential, right? And I'm frozen again. There we go. All right. Carol, can you tell me more about, you know, how traditional schools have sort of worked with you and your family?
Very similar to what Liz and Anita were saying. One of the biggest issues that especially my son has is comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, as they say. He feels that he knows how to respond. He feels that he's smart. Actually, no. Now he does, but previously he didn't. I actually had to show him his report cards. Yeah, the cat's back. Apparently, the moment I start talking, my cat is like, oh, look, she's talking again. I must sit in her hair. He didn't believe that he knew what he knew because he saw other kids finishing it faster,
Yes.
doing it first.
Mm-hmm.
And even though he does get the right answer and does actually with the regular schooling system does get good grades because he does know, he didn't believe that. He didn't believe that he was good. He thought, and his words, not mine, that he was stupid because he felt that everybody else finished their work faster. Everybody else is, they write more, or it was the faster really was the biggest issue for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, his processing time is a little slower. Like even when you give him an instruction, you kind of have to do a very long, awkward pause almost until you get an answer. But you will get an answer. He heard you. He's understood you. He's going to give you the answer that you're looking for. It's just going to be a little bit more delayed than, the average child.
Okay.
And as such, he feels out of place. He still does feel out of place. He feels that, he doesn't belong. He always says, I feel like I don't belong. He feels that he doesn't have friends. And so, no, the traditional school system hasn't been very kind to us. But at the same time, it's what he knows. So it's a struggle for me to figure out, what's the best path for him going forward, for him to be able to thrive. And for my daughter as well, the school system, because she comes across as very pleasant, very kind, listens to instructions like you wouldn't believe it. She is also getting left behind because they think that she knows when she actually doesn't.
Yeah.
They think because she writes and draws really well, but she can't read and she's going to grade 1. But when you speak to her teacher, she's like, yes, she can. And I'm like, no, she can't. No, you think she can because she's very good. Like she's got the social skills and she fakes it basically.
Yeah.
And so she thinks she does, but she actually doesn't. And so it's like the flip side of it, right? Like I've got a neurodiverse child and a neurotypical child, and even the neurotypical child, through her abilities at her social skills, because they are, high quality social skills, she's been able to fool her teachers into thinking that she knows stuff that she doesn't actually know.
Okay.
So I had a completely different experience with my son, and he's the same age as your daughter. So in his school, when he was 4 years old, he went to JK. He was already reading and writing when he went to JK. Mind you, he is a third of 2 other sisters who used to sit him down and force him to read and write because, they thought he was their pet. But anyhow, so he would go to school and basically in November, I get a call from the teacher, and this child can tell stories. He could speak in English and French. He was, when I would say something to him, he would say, can you please elaborate? That was his word to try and give me more detail, right? So we spoke to him at a very high level. His vocabulary was developed. And so the teacher calls me in November, before COVID, before the shutdown. She says, I'm really concerned about your son. He doesn't talk. He's nonverbal. And I said, pardon me? And because there are 32 children in the classroom, and by the way, Agora Prep is a cap of 20 with 1-to-10 ratio, just had to throw that one in there. But because they had 32 children in the classroom, he never spoke. He only spoke to his friends, but he never spoke up in class. He didn't need to. Everybody else was talking, and he's very chill. My son's like, hey, I'm good. If everybody else is talking, I'm good. I'm quiet. I'm chill. I'll do my thing and just keep my head down. And they were like, A for apple. And he's like, okay, that sounds good. Meanwhile, he knows how to write the word apple. So I said to her, I need to come in and speak with you. I need to see what work he's been doing, because I started getting concerned. I'm an educator myself. How is it that started in September and 2 months later, she's telling me my child is nonverbal? which is obviously a big mistake. I go in and she shows me work that he's been doing. And yeah, he understands how to read and he has good writing and stuff, but he doesn't talk. And I looked at her and I said, he tells stories at home. I can show you a recording of him talking about the difference between a pterosaur, a pteranodon, and a pterodactyl. And, you know, their wing formation and how they fly in different aerodynamics. And I'm like, I can't explain to you how smart he is and how verbal he is with me at home. And when she saw the video, she was so ashamed. And it was the same thing. They don't know our children because they have so much to care for. They have to teach a curriculum which isn't conducive to learning. And they have all these administrative tasks they have to do. And then their classrooms are completely full. So same experience, but on the other side. So with your daughter, yeah, she faked it. My son was apparently nonverbal. So it is unfortunately the product of a system that isn't, yeah, exact. Okay, ladies, we have 4 minutes left. So I'm going to ask the most critical question, and I think we've all touched on it as we talked about this. Before we end the meeting, let's talk COVID. We all have fears about September. I know, I get it. And to reassure you, Agora Prep is taking all the necessary measures. Instead of 20 per classroom, we're only looking to cap it at 10 for now until more, more people are either vaccinated or the fear is lifted. We've already changed all of our filters. We're making sure that there's a lot of air circulation. We have our, policies in place. We have our thermometers in place. We have all of that. And we've trained our teachers to be very careful and cognizant of space and activities. So we are going to be spending a lot of time outdoors. But let's talk COVID for a second. How has virtual learning, taking a front seat to your child's virtual learning, impacted how you see education? And make it as quick as possible. But I just want to know, what did you observe in this past year? Because it was a very interesting experiment. So we'll start with Carol this time.
There's how do I say this politely? The school system is antiquated. It is not advanced enough to keep up with the times. It is not engaging enough for the kids to want to learn. And they it's insulting to the intelligence of the children for them to teach them in the manner that they are teaching them. And I'm even comparing it to old school, to like when we went to school. Like, at least they didn't assume that we were deficient. And I feel that the way that the kids are being taught is in a way like it's meant to help the kids think for themselves, but it at no point involves getting any input from the kids when they do think from themselves. It's an oxymoron, basically. And there's a lot of filler that is not productive. And certain topics are not as involved as they should be, and others are too involved when they don't need to be. Overall, I wasn't impressed. Overall, I felt that it needs an overhaul for sure. Or definitely, if the parents are not 100% involved in their children's learning, providing support outside of what they're getting at school, that their kids are truly going to be left behind.
Thank you for sharing. Anita, what did you think of virtual learning?
For me, honestly talking, it was like me going to kindergarten. Like, I never thought that she's learning and everything. How can you make the child to sit for 6 hours, 8 hours in one particular place? Like, we are sitting just for 1 hour. I know it's so that time is so precious, and you're telling, like, it's like taking a frog and putting on the weighing scale. Do you think it will sit? like it was like me, and it is for my health issues also. It has been bothered for me, and it's been what Miss Carol said, that it's very hard. Like, we didn't learn anything. It was me. Like, I never did my kindergarten. It was for me, everything. I was learning and I was trying to put her whatever. Mommy, I know it. She's not going to listen it. It's okay. And art school, before it was, she was showing how to cut the paper. Okay, I'm going to do this. And she was to so. And after that, she just put on the YouTube video. Now that's it. And okay, in next 3 minutes, are you guys done? Are you guys done? Okay, whoever is done, good job. And rest of them, they prepared, not prepared. It was really -0 for me. If anything happens, like in future, if it's virtual, it's not going to happen. It's going to be homeschooling or something like, it's not going to happen. It's really mental disturbing, and we were tired and sick. Like they're kids, like they really need a break. Like, they are going for fun. It's not like, making them to sit and you have to do it. You have to study it. You have to finish it. You can't let them do it.
I agree 100%. I agree with you.
It's,
Okay, so your experience really reflects Carol's. Let's see what Liz has to say.
Online learning doesn't work. Basically, it doesn't. For especially younger grade students like Evan in grade 1 and grade 2, grade 1 online learning is just a joke. You are throwing a child who is not computer efficient, who would be at grade 1, and expect them to learn independently with a teacher talking at them. It didn't work. Grade 2 was slightly better because he had grade 1 to practice, and he knew how to maneuver and control, delete everything was better, but there was so little learning. It was, I felt that the past year was just a waste of time. The kids were just relearning the thing that she taught at school, but they weren't really learning new concepts. So the learning has really, really suffered last year.
Yes. I had 3 different children on 3 different grades, on 3 different laptops in 3 different parts of the house, learning on virtual. And I can hear the amount of shushing that was going on, and the amount of, hey guys, okay, let's focus back. Okay, can you, Tom, please stop picking your nose. Okay, honey. All right. And oh, no, we don't need to bring the dog to the camera right now. Oh, okay. And like, it really was thrust on the teachers, because the method of delivery of learning was never practiced before. So it was so chaotic, and I felt for the educators. I really did. I would contact the educators and say, you did a great job today. As hard as this is, I get it. I hear you. And you did a great job today engaging my child. Or I would call them and say, yeah, they're not coming on for the rest of the week. I don't know what's going on, but I can't even fight them. They've chosen to sleep through the day, like instead of virtual learning. So it was a touch and go, but it was ineffective because we're not trained on it. We're not even trained on it as adults. Do you remember how hard it was in the beginning to come to terms with the fact that we're not going to be having in-person meetings?
Yeah.
So it is a reality that's very difficult to accept, but I totally agree with you. And I don't think virtual learning, unintentional, disorganized virtual learning is effective. I believe virtual learning can be effective given the right medium, the right mediums, and the right platforms, and the right type of training. So if our children are trained, much like if, let's say, you want to learn about QuickBooks, you want to learn about accounting and bookkeeping. If someone trains you on QuickBooks, it becomes very easy. And so you are no longer having to focus on how to use QuickBooks, but now you're focused on expenses and projections and working on your numbers. It's the same thing with virtual learning. Children were spending 90% of their time learning how to open a window, or going half the time, my son who's 5, she's talking, I don't know where she is. And he would have minimized her by accident because he was working on a different assignment. He's like, oh, she's still talking. Do you think she can see me? And I'm like, she can see you. And I can hear her going, Tim, just go to the bottom of your screen. And he's looking at the bottom. And she's like, no, you're the monitor screen. And he's like looking, and like, it was actually really funny. We should have recorded it and put it on, Canada's home videos, funniest home videos. But thank you, ladies, so much for sharing this time with me. I felt really cool about this. Like this, it's been already 60 minutes. I can't believe we've been talking this long, but it feels great to hear what you have to say. And as the principal of Agora Prep Academy, I am very grateful. Like I have deep gratitude for you giving up this time to talk with me and to be a panelist on our recording. So I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I will see you in a few hours when you come by. But thank you so much for your beautiful children, because I think that's my biggest gift. My biggest gift, other than, of course, your time and your input, is giving me a chance to meet your wonderful children and to have an impact on them in the education space. So thank you so much. I wish you well for the rest of the day and have a great weekend. And yeah, that's it. So everybody say bye. Bye, Carol. Bye, Liz. Bye, Anita.
Bye there.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
soon. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye, everyone.